Hello, I'm Jeremy, and today I'm going to take a look at contents from the Brettspiel Advent Calendar 2016. So the Advent Calendar 2016 is a set of 24 promos for 24 different games, and this is the third in a series of videos where I'm looking at a set of those promos. So right here, I will look at promos 13 through 18. So number 13 is a promo for a game I have not played, a heavy game by the name of Arkwright, and this is essentially an economic sim game, and this adds another market to the game. It's essentially a luxury good market, and I should note that it's two-sided in case you're playing with just two players. And essentially there will be cubes added to here at the start of a turn, and you'll have the option to participate in the luxury goods market, buying and selling those goods. So again, I'm not familiar with the game. This might make sense to you if you have played the game, but I know that it is a heavy economic sim, and it does seem like, giving a new market in a game like that would be significant. So number 14 is a series of little trophies that you could assemble for the new version of Camel Up, the Camel Up card game. And essentially what you do in this is, in Camel Up and also in the card game, there are betting tokens where you're going to bet on which camel will finish first or last at the very end of the race. And these essentially get added after each round of the game. You just place these onto the betting tiles of the camels. So for example, on the camel that's in first place at the end of a leg, you'll place one of those on for its last place card. And the camel that's in fifth place, you'll put one of these trophies on the first place card. So essentially, over the course of the game, makes the camel that's currently in last place, it makes a first place bet on it more valuable, and vice versa. So that's, I think, just another way to spice up what's essentially a gambling game. The card game is actually kind of full of a lot of upkeep compared to the board game. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet, and this just adds another step of upkeep. It doesn't seem like complex, I wouldn't say that, but at the same time it adds another element of bookkeeping. The way that you draft cards in that game works similarly. Judgment is out on that one, but that is what the promo does. So number 15 is probably the most disappointing promo here, and this is for Quadruple, and Quadruple has had a lot of these small tile expansions like this, which essentially are just cosmetic changes. So that's all that these are. There's 4 of them, and essentially, and I'm not sure how well you can see it here, these are going to give you new artwork for 4 of the tiles in the game, and it's supposed to be Christmas themed artwork. So there's a little bit of snow on the roofs. It does not seem to do anything as far as a gameplay change. I have not compared the tiles side by side, but it does seem like it's really just a cosmetic expansion and not much of a cosmetic difference at all, because nobody really pays attention to the art on these tiles when playing Quadruple. So it's a game that I really like, an expansion that I don't think I would bother sorting those tiles into my other tiles to use. So that is the Quadruple expansion. Number 16 is another game that I have not played, actually. This is Bohemian Villages, and essentially I know that that's sort of a Kingsburg type dice drafting game or a dice allocation game. So what happens is, whenever you have a total of 13 or more, I assume that's if you've rolled dice that add up to 13 or more, you could use them to claim one of these tiles, which will either give you this one-time use of changing any 2 dice to any values of your choice, or these 2 ongoing effects, which will allow you to modify your die rolls by 1, plus or minus 1. So in a game that's about rolling dice, I think that might be pretty significant. Again, I haven't played the game though, so I can't say for sure, but it does seem like that would be another strategy that you could take to modify some of the luck in that game. Number 17, and again, it's another game that I have not played, by the name of Panic Labs. I'm not even sure if that's come out in the US. And this is just literally this small little tile here, and the instructions are all on the back. So it says, when the amoeba meets this tile, and it's a little picture of a shower on there. So when the amoeba meets this tile, the effects of the mutation rooms previously met are cancelled. So I literally do not know how this game plays. There's a picture of it here, if that's any use to you. But essentially, when the amoeba hits that shower, any mutations go away. So if you've played Panic Labs, you might know what that means. I sadly do not. And finally, last but not least, number 18 is a mini expansion for Istanbul, a game that's had 2 large expansions as well as some other tile expansions, I think at least 2. And this is a tile that could replace the post office in the Istanbul game, so it's called the Pegasus Depot. And you can see here, essentially, there are these 6 spaces with die numbers on it. At the start of the game, you'll cover up the 4, 5, and 6, and whenever you go to that space, you're going to roll 2 dice. Whichever numbers come up that you roll, you make sure that there are cubes on those. So if you rolled, for example, you went here at the start of the game and you rolled a 1 and a 6, the 6 is already covered, so you'd have to move one of the cubes on the 4 or the 5 over to the 1. Then any spaces that are left uncovered, you'll get to collect the stuff next to them. So you wouldn't get to collect 1, 6, and whichever of 4 or 5 you move, but you get the I guess the 2 and the 3 benefit. So that's I think a really nice little change from the post office, which is one of the more interesting tiles in the game. But this seems to add a little bit more luck to that. So a nice change of pace perhaps. So that is the Pegasus Depot for Istanbul. And that is, or I should say, those are expansions numbers 13 through 18 from the Advent Calendar 2016. And I will be back with my 4th video on this series of small promos.